Fat Ass 45 is blaming the stimulus check delay on Democrats when it's actually his fault. It's actually his failure to not get anyone done. The Fat Ass 45 could suffer most politically over a delay of a further stimulus package as the chances of one passing pre-election fade. Political scientists predict. Fat Ass 45 last week suggested his rebels do not want a package to pass. They do, but the one that you're trying to pass doesn't help anybody. With hopes of a bipartisan agreement before November 3rd fading after a so-called skinny package failed to garner support in the Senate, talks between Democratic leaders and White House negotiators have failed to strike a compromise on the plan of action likely to pass the Senate and House. Last week, Fat Ass 45 said the rebel lawmakers don't want to pass a stimulus package because they think it will help me in the election. No, well, I won't help you either way because you're going to lose anyway. But the reason that they don't want to pass one that they know won't help anybody. I don't think it helps me at all. We are prepared to pass stimulus for people that need it. Yeah, bullshit. Excuse me. And while Fat Ass 45 suggested that such a bill might not boost him as the incumbent, there are suggestions that the absence of one could damage his re-election. In short, the failure of a second stimulus is more risky for Republicans than Democrats. Anything that weakens the economy tends to hurt the incumbent party more, and especially the incumbent squatter. John Sides, a professor in the Department of Political Science at Vanderbilt University and author of Identity Crisis, the 2016 presidential campaign and the Battle of the Meaning of America, told Newsweek. Justin Buechler, an associate professor of political science at Case Western Reserve University, had said that Fat Ass 45 would be likely to receive either the credit or blame in the situation, suggesting that there may be truth in the thought of a package passing could boost him. As a general rule, credit and blame both accrue to the Fat Ass, regardless of who was responsible, he told Newsweek. It is probably too late for a new round of stimulus to make much of a difference in the economy anyway. However, an economic boost would help Fat Ass 45, which makes it ironic that the Democrats are pushing for a package of policies that, according to conventional economics, would help Fat Ass 45 in November, while the Republicans are pushing for economic policies that don't even help their party at all. David Campbell, a chairperson of the University of Notre Dame's Political Science Department, similarly said that the Fat Ass is usually held ultimately responsible for the state of the economy. It thus stands to reason that the absence of a stimulus package will harm Republicans because they hold the White House more than the Democrats. However, he suggested that there have been instances in which the Fat Ass could blame Congress, though he suggested that this would be harder due to the Republicans controlling the Senate. There have also been cases where the Fat Ass have managed to pin blame on a do-nothing Congress, Campbell said. In this case, though, that will also be tough since the Republicans control the Senate too. Douglas Hay, a former communications director for the Republican National Committee, said he thinks each party's supporters will blame the other side, though where those undecided on who to vote for will go is less clear. It's a risk for both parties. Certainly, each party's base will blame the other side, but for those voters who remain undecided, which way they go on this issue is uncertain. He said the best course would be to pass something and fight it out on their own issues. David Brockington, who's a lecturer in politics and social science methods at the University of Plymouth, said he thinks that debates over stimulus might not cut through other issues. The debate around the stimulus would need to punch through the weight of the West Coast on fire. Woodward's taped interviews about Fat Ass 45's handling of the virus and the ongoing rumblings about Fat Ass 45's demeaning statements regarding those who have served and died for the country. He added that it would be difficult for the issue of the negotiations to break through to the consciousness of the general public, given other ongoing situations across the United States. If it were to do so, responsibility for the delay might be hard for voters to assign, thus nullifying what impact it might have at the election, Brockington suggested. Newsweek has contacted the Fat Ass 45 campaign. Newsweek has contacted the Fat Ass 45 campaign and the White House, Pelosi, Schumer, and McConnell for comment. A bill proposed by the Senate. GOP leadership failed to pass the upper chamber of Congress last week, with Democrats insisting it did not provide sufficient support in the circumstances, which it didn't. The Democrats proposed the HEROES Act passed the House in May. The Republicans swiftly rejected this and granted it dead on arrival in the Senate. A major point of contention has been the budget of any proposal. The HEROES Act was worth around worth about $3.4 trillion, while Republicans looked to work within a cap of around $1 trillion. Each side has suggested that the other would not compromise sufficiently on the budget of such a package, and Pelosi said Friday she is optimistic an agreement can be reached. I do think that we should have an agreement, she said, speaking on CNN's The Situation Room. That's what we all want, but technically but Fat Ass 45 and the Republicans are not easy to agree with anyway, so that's why. So if you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, Random Mike, and also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out, and thanks for listening.